So Rhema for today is on the mountain of the Lord, it will be provided. Now this is a verse from Genesis when Abraham took Isaac to Mount Moriah because the Lord commanded him to travel to Mount Moriah, which was about 3 days journey by foot from where he was, and to sacrifice his son Isaac, the promised one, who was miraculously born and given to Abraham and his wife Sarah. The Lord commanded Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. And he obeys. He treks 3 days on foot with his son and servants, and they hike up Mount Moriah. He bounds his son and puts him on the altar. And he's about to slay his son with a knife to sacrifice him as the Lord commanded him. But the angel of the Lord said, "Stop, don't lay a hand on this child, don't harm him, because now I know that you fear the Lord and serve him only with your whole heart." And the Lord provides a sacrificial lamb, a ram that's caught in the thicket bush. And that's when Abraham says this famous phrase, "On the mountain of the Lord, it will be provided." That's where we get Jehovah Jireh. Now we quote that name of God frequently when we need something, right? He provides, the Lord who provides, the Lord our provider, Jehovah Jireh. But the background scene is that it was on the mountain of the Lord it was provided. It was provided when Abram obeyed and listened to his voice and climbed up the mountain of God, ascended to the mountain of God to obey the Lord, to seek him and sacrifice, to make a sacrifice for him. It's on that mountain what Abraham really needed, which was a ram for the sacrificial, which represent the sacrificial lamb of Jesus, the ram instead of the son, instead of our own the fruits, instead of our own works, instead of our things. God provides a holy thing, and he's able to sacrifice the ram instead of his son Isaac. Now the Rhema word is, the inspiration is this, that we quote the word, the Lord provides, Jehovah Jireh, but we must understand it's on the mountain of the Lord. The whole phrase, you have to quote the whole phrase. Abraham said, "On the mountain of the Lord it shall be provided." On the mountain of the Lord it shall be provided, which means he, in obedience, he took a step of faith and went up the mountain of God to seek the Lord, to make a sacrifice for him. It's when we seek him in obedience to his word, we want to obey him, so we seek him, we take a step out. That's when provision comes. It's not just by waiting around. It's by an act of obedience. It's also by an act of surrender. It's also by climbing up the mountain of God, Mount Moriah, where now Jerusalem sits. The famous Second Temple, the ruins of it, whatever it is still in Jerusalem. That's where Mount Moriah is, where Abraham tried to sacrifice Isaac, but God stopped him. But in obedience to the voice of God, and he made an effort to seek the Lord, to climb the mountain of Moriah, the mountain of God. It's there they found the ram, not at the bottom of the mountain or not on the way. It's at that right moment on the top of the mountain, the ram was provided. God provides for us because he's our Father, he's our shepherd. But it's when we are in obedience to him, we follow his voice, and we're always climbing up that mountain of God, which means we're ascending to the throne of grace. We're seeking the Lord, his face. We are searching for his will. We are in obedience to his word. That's when provision comes. It's on the mountain of the Lord provides. That's where Jehovah Jireh, that famous name of God, comes from. Well, God bless you, and I pray that you will also ascend to the mountain of God, seek his face, and take a step of faith and obedience to where you feel the Lord is leading you, and keep asking for confirmation, and the Lord will provide. It's on that top of the mountain, at the peak of the need, and also in complete surrender to God, that God provides. Shalom, Basem, Yeshua Mashiach, Shalom.